Welcome to our Business Forecasting for Dummies series, and in this sales forecasting tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use your yearly revenue goal and do forecasting and projections with respect to each of the marketing channels, depending on which one are you using, and then also track it back to how much traffic you need to drive to each one of those channels to achieve your goals. So let's get started. So for this model, I'm making two basic assumptions. First, let's say if your yearly revenue goal is $100,000 and your average sale is $250. So these numbers can change, so you can always adjust this the way you want, but this is our basic assumptions for this model. And then Q1 to Q4 is each one of those quarters. So let's say, because a lot of businesses can depend on a season. Some businesses sell more in Q4, which is around Christmas time, holidays. So let's say if you're projecting 15% of your sales to come from Q1, 20% Q2, 25% Q3, and then 40% from Q4. So you can always change whichever way you want. So based on if you're projecting 15% of sales of 100,000, that will be 15,000. So which basically is 100,000 multiplied by 15, which gives you $15,000. So your goal and your projection is that in Q1, I'm going to do $15,000 worth of sales. In Q2, since it does for 20%, I'm going to do 20,000 worth of sales, which is 20%. So which basically is this multiplied by this. And the same thing goes for Q3 and Q4. So now these are your dollar values that you want to make for each quarter. So let's say if the average sale is $250, and this could be any item that you're selling, and we're counting it at any item sold as one sale. So if your average sale cost is $250, and in Q1 your goal is to make $15,000, the number of items you need to sell in Q1 is 15,000 divided by 250, which means 60 items here. So as you can see, when I click here, you can see the formula here to say C7 divided by C14, which is C7, which is $15,000 your sales, divided by C14, which is $250, which means you have to sell 60 items at this cost for Q1 to make $15,000 in Q1. And you can do the same distribution for Q2. Since Q2, you're looking to make $20,000 in sales. So your number of items you need to sell ends up being 20,000 divided by 250, which is 80, 25,000 divided by 250, which is 100, and so on. So now this is where it gets more fun. So let's say you are using 4 different marketing channels to drive sales. So you're driving sales through email marketing. You're doing some influencer campaigns. You also have your social media channel, and then some direct sales on your website where people are just coming to your site and they're buying. And this percentage shows you how much sales are you expecting from each one of these marketing channels. So let's assume that for email campaigns, you're projecting that 20% of my sales are going to come through email, 20% are going to come through influencers, 10% through social, and then 50% through website. So these numbers should always add up to 100, right? This row, because that's your total number of sales. And you can always change so let's say if you were saying that 15% of your email are going to come through, sales are going to come through email, you can change this to 15. And then if you think that 55% is going to come through website, you can actually do 55 here. So as long as this always adds up to 100. So if your projection is that 15% is going to come through email, then how many items you need to sell through your email campaigns, which ends up being, if you look at the formula here, which ends up being 15% of 60, which is 9. So which basically is 60 multiplied by 15%, which is 9. 80 multiplied by 50%, 15%, which is 12. 100 multiplied by, so 15% of 100 is 15. And then 15% of 160 is 24. So with each quarter, if 15% of your sales are going to come through email, your email should account, you should be selling at least 9 items through your email campaigns, 12 items here and so on. And through influencers, and you're assuming 20% of your sales are going to come through influencers. So then you need to sell at least 12 items through influencer, which is 20% of 60 is 12, which is 20% multiplied by 60 is 12. 20% of 80 is 16. 20% of 100 is 20, and so on. And remember, you can always change these numbers, and then your projection will change accordingly. So this is like a very basic formula. Same thing for social media, same thing for website, right? So now these are the numbers that you know, this is the sales numbers you need to hit from each one of these marketing channels per quarter. So if you want to even divvy down to, okay, every quarter has 3 months. So if I need to do it by monthly, all you need to do is divide this by 3, which will be 9 divided by 3 is 3, which means you need to sell at least 3 items through your email for each one of those 3 months for Q1. If you do 12 divided by 3, which will be 4, so for Q2, through emails, you need to sell 4 items per month through email. So you can always take these numbers and divide it by 3, each one of them, and that will give you your monthly stuff, right? So it should be pretty easy. And these are the conversions, so you can always change them because your business, you will know exactly what your conversion rates are. And these are the assumptions I'm making. So you can look at your data and see how many typically your emails have been converting and just add those percentages here. And let's say if you want to add another channel, so let's say you have another channel, for example, let's say you are doing paid advertisements on Facebook. So all you can do is you can just add another column here. Let's say insert one on the left, and you can say, okay, these are like my Facebook paid ads. And out of those Facebook paid ads, maybe 10% are actually converting. And since these are coming from 10, and you can probably say, okay, now I'm only expecting 45 from here because this still needs to add to 100. And then you can do this multiplied, oops, Control C. There you go. So this is equal to 10% of 60, which is this, multiplied by 10. And then you can see for Facebook paid ads, now you're expecting six sales. So you can always add different marketing channels as you see fit. So I'm going to delete this for now so our numbers stay the same. And this is how you get how much you are forecasting for each one of your channels. So now this is where the tricky part is, and this is where most of the businesses actually fail, and they fail to project how much traffic they need to drive. So here what we're going to see is, and this percent, so let's look at email again. So if you are projecting that, okay, I need to sell 9 items through my emails, not every email is going to convert, right? And so let's say this percentage is you're assuming what is your conversion rate for each one of those emails. So which basically, so 10% says that if 100 people get your email, only 10 people out of those 100 will actually purchase your product through email. Here you're saying if it's 100 people get my influencer, like my influencer reaches 100 people, only 5 people will actually buy that item. And same story here, same story here. And these numbers doesn't have to add up to 100 at all. These are just whatever your conversion rates are for each one of your sources. And here what you're going to look into is that how much traffic you need to drive to your website, drive through each one of these channels to actually get the conversion. So if we want to sell 9 items through email campaign, and our conversion rate through email is 10%, which means we need to get at least 90 people come to our site through that particular email, or basically take some sort of action through that email. Right? So this, if you think your email conversion typically is pretty less, so I just put in 10%. So if email conversion is only 5%, then you know that at least 180 people need to take some sort of action or come to your site or click on your link. And then you can project that, okay, out of those, if my conversion rate is only 5%, the 9 people will actually buy it. And same thing goes from website, right? So if you're looking at, okay, my website conversion rate is only 5%, and I need to make 33 sales, then you need to drive at least 600 to 700 folks to your website. And out of those, if 5% convert, then you'll be able to make 33 sales. So this is a very basic model, but this can help you get started and wrap your head around that how many projections you can make from each one of those channels. And in order to make those sales, how much traffic you need to drive from each one of those channels. And then you can always add more channels here. Your percentage will change. This information you will be able to get from your previous data. whichever other campaigns you run. Or if you haven't run any of these, you can make an assumption. You can go on Google and see which is the average sales you can expect from social media, what are the average sales you can expect from website, and at least use these numbers as starting points. And once you gather more data, you can always keep changing these and modifying these, so you can get closer and closer to your projections, can get closer to what your actual numbers will look like. So this is a basic one. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them or drop them in the comments. And thank you for watching our business forecasting for dummies. And this is our sales forecasting tutorial. It's a great way to have your fashion business forecast, and looking forward to hearing from you. So thank you very much. Have a great day.